Morning guys, welcome to our third term. Today we're going to have a look at exponents. Just to recap, what is an exponent? In the first term we did exponents. If you look at this power, we refer to this number as a power. The big number is the base, and that small number at the top, that is the exponent. Remember, that exponent can also be referred to as an index. So we're going to focus on numbers that has a base and it has an exponent, and we're going to look at the rules for exponents. Right, so here are rules. Rule number 1 says that, and I'm going to use the letter A, meaning A stands for any number. So you can imagine any number in place of A. So any number to the power 1 gives me that number. That's rule number 1. I'll give some examples just now. Any number to the power 0 is equal to 1. When the bases are the same and I multiply them, then what do I do with the exponents? Then I add the exponents. So I say 3 plus 2 gives me 5. So it's in A cubed times A square will then be equal to A 5. I'll do an example just now. When I divide the same bases, then I can just subtract the exponents. So it will be 3 minus 2 gives me 1. So these two, if I study, and then these two I can group together then. The first two I can group together. So I first study those two, and then the next two. Because this is multiply by the same base, and this is divide by the same base. Right. Number 5. If I have exponent in the bracket and an exponent outside of the bracket, then what do? I multiply the exponents. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. So it's A to the power 6. Check number 6, not a bracket now, a root. If I have a root, exponent outside the root and an exponent inside the root, then I divide the two exponents. So it will be 4 divided by 2. That will give me A to the power 2. Take note the difference between the two, and we can group these two if you want to study. The one is with the bracket, exponent in the bracket, exponent outside the bracket, I multiply. The one is with the root, exponent in the root, exponent outside the root, then I divide the two. Okay? And number 7, my favorite. What if the exponent is a negative? If the exponent is a negative, then you must know your answer is going to be a fraction. And my fraction will be 1 over. And what is my numerator is 1, and what is my denominator? I ignore the negative sign and I calculate A square. So if A is 2, for example, it will be 2 square, so it will be 1 over 4, because 2 square is equal to 4. 2 2's that I must multiply. Okay, let's look at some examples just to make it clear for you. Okay, so I'm going to focus on example number 1. Just example number 1. Okay, right. Example number 1 says that, I can write it here. Okay, let's look at the number. Any number to the power 1 when my exponent is 1 is equal to that same number. That is what example number 1 says. Example number 2, if I take that number and it's to the power 0, then my answer is equal to 1. So 3 to the power 1, 6 to the power 1, 10 to the power 1, a million to the, sorry, not to the power 1, to the power 0, 10 to the power 0, a million to the power 0 is equal to 1. Number 3. If the bases are the same and I multiply, then I can just keep the base and I just add the exponents. Number 4. If the bases are the same and I'm dividing, then I can just subtract the exponents. I keep the base and I subtract the exponent. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. Just want to move this up quickly. Okay. Example number 5. If the number is in the bracket with an exponent and there's an exponent outside the bracket, and then I multiply, keep the base, I multiply the exponents. So that will give me 3 to the power of 6. Number 6. Rule number 6. If I have a number in a root, let's make that number 3. It's a square root of 3 to the power 4. To get rid of the root, I keep the base and I divide the exponents. So 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. Rule number 7. Rule number 7. This one is interesting. If it's 3 to the negative power of 2, then I must know it's going to be a fraction. My numerator is always going to be 1. And what is my denominator? I ignore the negative sign. 3 to the power 2 is 9. So my answer is going to be 1/9. Remember, 3 to the power 2 is 9, whole number. But 3 to the negative 2 is equal to 1/9. It becomes a fraction. Okay, thank you. I hope this helps. So I will post the video, I will post the note as well as an activity. Thank you.